Hello and welcome to the show. Today is an out and about episode, so expect to hear some noise in the background, particularly the generator that is, rumbling in the distance. But anyway, the windows are up, so hopefully we shouldn't have too much noise bleeding into today's episode. Now, today we're going to be looking at cold calling for growing your business. How to grow your business by doing cold calling. Now, if you're not familiar with the term cold calling, you don't know what that means, don't worry, just hang in here. We're going to get to that real quick. But the reason why we're looking at cold calling today is because for those of you who are just discovering the show today, when you're done listening to this episode, skip back 4 or 5 episodes where we were looking at how a baby lawyer, when I say baby lawyer, I don't mean an actual baby. I just mean somebody who is young as a lawyer, coming into the business, trying to start the business on their own. We came up with a couple of episodes with ideas for how people who are coming into the legal space or people who are trying to open their consultancy practice or trying to look for ways that people like that can get clients. And I think we started off by prospecting, defining what prospecting is, and then from there we moved into networking as a form of prospecting. And the next one I was going to tackle was cold calling. And then it occurred to me that there are a whole bunch of you listening to this podcast right now who do not even know what cold calling means. Even though chances are some of you do it every day or some of you have done it at some point in the past. So today's episode is just dedicated to cold calling. What is cold calling? Have you been doing it? How can you do it? How can you use it to grow your business? So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be ditching the baby lawyer example for now. We might come back to that case study again, but for now, no more baby lawyer. So, cold calling for your business. Before we continue, if you'd love to connect for a strategy session, for a business audit, or because you have a few questions that you want me to answer, that's no problem. Reach out to me on WhatsApp. The phone number is 080-6466-2140. The country code is +234 for those of you who are not Nigerian. I am on LinkedIn as Tavishima Ayede. That's my name. I'm the host of the show. So now, the definition of cold calling. Cold calling just means you are talking to total strangers. Now, you see why I say some of you have done it in the past, even though you didn't know. So if you're one of those people who likes to walk up on strangers in, Ikeja City Mall, for those of you based in Lagos, maybe you have a travel agency and you're trying to take advantage of the fact that people are trying to jackpot, they're trying to leave Nigeria. So you just stroll up to Ikeja City Mall, you see a man with his kids, you just walk up to him and you start trying to have a conversation about whether he wants to jackpot. So if you've been doing that, that is called calling. Cold calling is you just walk up to a stranger, cold. You don't know the person. The person doesn't know you. The person has no previous context about you. You have made no prior contact with that person. You guys have no emotional connection. You guys have no existing relationship. The thing is, you're just guessing the person might be interested in your product or service. So you say, let me just try my luck. So you walk up to people in the street, that's cold calling. You walk up to somebody at the Ikeja City Mall, that's cold calling. Although that kind of cold calling nowadays is called canvassing. When you're using your 2 legs, you walk up and down and you're talking to people. That's cold calling, although nowadays it's called canvassing. So in most parts of the world, Europe, where else? America, when they say cold calling, they like to limit it to when you actually pick up the phone and call somebody who is a total stranger. So the person that you're buzzing, the guy doesn't know you, the babe doesn't know you, no prior context. You guys don't know each other from Adam or Eve. No prior contact, no emotional connection, no existing relationship, nothing. You just see the phone number somewhere and you think, this person might be interested in my product or my service. Let me just buzz the person. Let me try my luck. Let me see how far. So that is cold calling. So that's it. Some people are going to get hung up on the fact of whether it is phone call or not. But for the purposes of this episode, I want you guys to know that the thing that makes a cold call cold is this whole thing of prior context, prior contact, prior knowledge, prior emotional relationship, all this prior thing. In cold calling, there's no prior nothing. I do not know you before. I know nothing about your context. You know nothing about me. I've never contacted you before. You've never contacted me before. That's what makes it cold. So it's not the matter of the technology. Now, the reason why I'm stressing this is because in the old days, in the olden days, cold calling was when you will walk around and go and knock on somebody's door, their office or their house, You never met them before. You're trying to do business with them, like Jehovah's Witness. So back in the 80s now in Nigeria, Jehovah's Witnesses, they used to walk all over the place knocking on people's doors. I think because of security issues, maybe they don't do that again. Because you know how Nigeria is now. You go and knock on somebody's door and you get shot, or maybe they'll set the dogs on you because everybody's on red alert nowadays. So they don't do it again. So that's cold calling. You just walk up to a stranger's house, you knock on the door, bum, bum, bum. You say, hello, is your daddy in? And tell him that so and so wants to see him. You go, you come out, your daddy looks at the person, they've never met each other before, people are total strangers. That is cold calling. So it's not about the technology. It's not about whether you walk into Ikeja City Mall or you knock on somebody's door or you pick up the phone. The thing is just that you guys are strangers. I don't know you, you don't know me. I've never contacted you, you've never contacted me. No emotional connection. I don't feel you. You self, you don't feel me. No prior relationship. I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am. I don't know your brother, your mother, your sister. You don't know me. So that's what makes it cold. Now, some of you are going to say, can this kind of thing work for growing business? Is this thing workable? Is it possible? The answer is yes, it does work. If it didn't work, nobody would be doing it. Granted, in the UK and in America, the flavor that people prefer depends on the industries. So in solar sales, for instance, in America, they do cold calling, but that one is knocking on doors. They call that one door knocking. So all the people who are selling solar now, you jump inside the car, you drive to the estate, maybe it's Lekki Phase 2 or something. You park the van at the beginning of the estate, you get inside, you will now go and start knocking on doors. You say, why are you Kunle? Start from door 1 and knock to door 10. Kemi, you go left, start from door 15, knock on to door 25. You distribute yourself, you just be knocking, talking to people, handing out flyers. So in America, solar sales in some parts of the country, that's how they run it. I think it would be a good idea, and I think it might work in Nigeria. I think. But the solar client that I had, they didn't have a massive sales team. It was just a 4-person sales team, so that's why I didn't bring it up. Because if you have only 4 salespeople and you send your 4 salespeople out into the field doing that, it's time intensive. It means no work is going to get done at the office. But I suspect that it might work if you're into solar, that you drive to an estate, let's say like Sun City in Abuja, for instance. You drive to Sun City, you park your van, you will just be going from door to door. It's time intensive, but I think it can work anyway. So, yes, it's workable. People do it in different parts of the world, in different industries. So for solar and for insurance, they do door knocking, roof insurance. They do door to door, but that's America. In the UK, cold calling, that one is phone call. You just be minding your business now. You're just chilling, trying to watch Netflix or something. Some number will call. You say, who is this? Or no number. Let me just answer. You answer. Then the person says, hello, is this Tavashima? I say, yes, this is Tavashima. Who am I speaking with? Oh, Tavashima, we're calling you because we have won £5, something to qualify for this. Click on this and send your personal information to that. I'll just cut the call. Prap, say the idiots. That's cold calling. They're trying to sell you something. So in the UK, that's how lots of people cold call. Now in Nigeria, cold calling by phone, lots of people don't do it. I've only received a cold call once. And funny enough, it was from the government. They were trying to get, what were they trying to do, stuff? They were trying to get opinions about the African Free Trade Continental Treaty. I think that was under when Buhari was still in government. And I thought, okay, that was interesting. Because I don't think you should be calling people up cold like that. Because it's a highly specific law. And you can't expect the average man to know what's up and to even understand the law in the first place. So I know what's up because I'm a lawyer and I know some people who have been following. I used to be a lawyer. I know some people who follow that sort of thing. So cold calling, picking up the phone in Nigeria, not very popular, but expect more of that to happen because people are already sending cold texts. So you're minding your business, you're trying to watch Netflix. Next thing, a text message will come in. Are you thinking of traveling to South Africa soon? If so, text 405 to 990 to qualify for 10% off something. So those are cold texts. Those are promotional texts. They're sending the text to the stranger. Me that I'm receiving the text message, I don't know the person sending it. The person that is even sending the text message to me, the person doesn't even know it. Doesn't know me. I have no prior context. I don't know you before. No prior contact. I've never contacted you before. No relationship. Nothing. Those are cold texts. So in Nigeria, we've already started doing cold texting, even if we haven't started doing cold calling. Then, let's see what else. But anyway, the point I'm just trying to make is that, see, it can work. It depends. Which part of the world are you in? Which country? Which culture? All those sorts of things. What are the business conventions going on? So yes, it can work. But for the thing to work best, it requires that you do some research and some targeting ahead of time. I repeat, especially for those of you who like to walk into Ikeja City Mall, you see a man with his children, you have a travel agency, you go and walk up to the guy and say, "Oh, sir, are you thinking of traveling to Saudi Arabia soon, or do you want to Jagma?" If you want this thing to work, walking up to total strangers or sending text messages to total strangers, sending emails to total strangers, knocking on the door of total strangers, it requires some researching and it requires some targeting. Okay, so research the opportunity, research the prospect before you knock on their door, before you send a text message, before you approach them. In fact, for these Ikeja City Mall people, and yes, I have been approached at the Ikeja City Mall. That's back when I was in Lagos. But then I didn't have kids, so it was my younger brother. He had kids there. He started early. By the way, starting early, man, is a huge benefit because like now, my younger brother, his kids are now 15 and 13. So for him, he's at a very chilled stage in life. In fact, if you call my brother by 8 o'clock in the morning, he'll answer because he has already started work because everybody has left the house. Wifey has left the house. Children are in secondary school. 8 a.m. sharp, he's ready at his desk. He has started work. In fact, sometimes by 8 a.m., he has already been working for 1 hour. Unlike me, 8 a.m., I'm still doing primary school runs. So if you have the choice, have your kids early. And what was I? And so I'm just chilling at Ikeja City Mall now with my brother's kids. Me and my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. We'll take the kids just so that my brother and his wife can, spend some quality time now. And people just roll up on us and then start talking about travel and Jagba and everything. So I am one of those people who say, cold calling, Ikeja City Mall, capital N-O. Don't do that. Do not do that. Because it is too cold. Too cold. You haven't done any research. You haven't done any targeting. You don't have any reason to suspect that this person might need your product or your service. So do some prior research before you start approaching total strangers, just to give you a small hint or a small leg up that they might need your product or your service. Then also, when you're going to do cold calling, you need to have a simple conversation built around the problem statement. Because lots of people who do cold calling, like the Jehovah's Witness back in the 80s, they'll just roll up and say, start talking about how Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior and everything. Don't just roll up on someone and say Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. Ask the person first. Have you heard about Jesus? Would you be interested in having him as your personal Lord and Savior? Ask a question. A person says, "Oh no, thank you, I'm already a Christian." They say, "Oh, okay. Bless you." And then you have a small prayer and then you leave. Because you're looking for people who have not heard about Jesus Christ. So it's the same thing. The Jagba person. You don't just roll up and then start trying to sell me Jagba services and travel services. At least start a simple conversation built around your problem statement. Because the goal is you're trying to figure out, is the person interested and does the person want to learn more? Because when you show up cold to someone, or you send a text message cold to someone, or an email cold to someone, or you knock on somebody's door cold and you start trying to sell, you are a complete pest. You're a total nuisance and nobody wants to deal with you. See, this is the reason why people say cold calling doesn't work. It works. You're just doing it wrong. You're rolling up on people, no research, no targeting, and then you're trying to sell them immediately. So of course you're a pest. Now, my wife, she will just ignore and start walking away. I try to be a little bit more polite. I'll collect the flyer and say, "Thank you, I'm not interested." But some of you don't take the hint. You continue to talk and to talk and to talk. And what's the point? The wife is walking away. The husband is trying to be polite about it. You're still trying to talk. In front of you, you will see the husband roll up your flyer and throw it in the dustbin. And you still want to continue with that? Just simple researching, simple targeting around the opportunities, around the prospects, around the context. Start off the conversation with a simple problem statement and try and figure out if they're interested. If they want to learn more, that's all you need to do when you're trying to do cold. So let's go back to this Japa agency, travel agency thing. Ikeja City Mall, for those of you who are in Lagos. By the way, I don't know if the place is still called Ikeja City Mall because I haven't been in Lagos in a very long time. So if the name has changed, pardon me. But when I was in Lagos, it used to be called Ikeja City Mall. It was next to Alausa, and they had, some nice pizza places, clothes shops, what else? Some nice, good stuff. I think they even had a cinema then. Then it was brand new, so it was all the rage. Ikeja City Mall. So, if you just roll up on strangers like that, the result is you're going to get plenty of rejection. I'm trying to be polite, but most people are not me. Like I said, my wife will just turn and walk away. There's some people who even hiss and walk away at you. It's going to be plenty of rejection, plenty of snobbery. Some people might even insult you. Like, you seem like an educated person. Why can't you go and get a real job? Now, that one hasn't happened to me, but I've heard it happen to some people. Somebody will say, you're very articulate for a young man. You seem well educated. Now, did you go, where did you go to school? I went to OAU. OAU, that's a very, very good university. Why can't you get a proper job instead of walking around up and down like this in traffic? Have you thought about that? I've heard those sorts of things said to some people, but nobody has told me that. And of course, if people are rejecting you, snubbing you anyhow, insulting you up and down, of course, next thing is low morale. When your morale is low, you just journal disenchantment. So that's how you wake up one day and you be like, whoa, I don't have time for insult today. Let me just relax a bit. And of course, by doing that, your business is not going to grow. And then you wake up the next day and you're even under more pressure because you didn't do any prospecting yesterday. You didn't talk to any potential client yesterday. You've wasted 1 month. You're closer to the end of the month. You're closer to school fees. You're closer to house rent. You're closer to whatever. But you haven't done any business activity. So that's the result if you just roll up on people cold like that. So instead, you should be heading to wherever it is you head. If you own a Japa or a travel agency, and you're trying to take advantage of this whole Japa thing. By the way, in case you haven't figured out, Japa is not new. It's just that it comes in waves. So, like, I remember when I was in GSS, maybe when I was in GSS 2. And when I was in GSS 2 here, we just resumed, and then, some people are not there. So, where's Chukuma? Oh, Chukuma is in Philippines. And where is Nana? Okay, Nana is in America. Okay, where is Michael? Okay, Michael is in Italy. Where is this? Where is that? So the thing just comes in waves. So like around my GSS 2, some people just evaporated like that. People just miss because, military governments, country was hot, things like that. And then I think like towards my senior secondary school, I think that was when like medical doctors started to just disappear. Where's Dr. So? Oh, he has moved to Saudi Arabia. Where's, so he has moved to Cuba. Where's Dr. this? Where's Dr. that? He has moved to America. He has moved here. So it's just waves. It comes and goes and comes and goes. But Japa has always been a thing. But the name Japa is just new. So, where was I now? So instead of just going to Ikeja City Mall and then rolling up on total strangers, do some research. Remember, I said, if you want cold calling to work, do some research, do some targeting around the opportunities and around the prospects. So ask yourself, who might be interested in the product or the service? The answer to the question will determine where you're supposed to go to talk to strangers, the kind of opportunities that you will talk about when you talk to strangers, and the kind of conversations that you will engage in when you talk to strangers. So, in my own opinion, if you want a travel agency, instead of going to Ikeja City Mall, wake up and ask yourself who might be interested. One answer that I can give right now is that visa applicants might be interested in your product or your service. People who have actually gone to go and do something to show that they are trying to check out, that they are trying to escape from Niger. you should be looking for visa applicants. So be running your Instagram advertisements and targeting people who have recently applied for a visa, or who might want to apply for a visa, or who have visited a visa office, or something like that. The people who respond to those adverts, you have now generated leads that you can now start reaching out to. Okay, well, in those cases, that's not really cold calling, because they have done something to show that they might be interested. But you get my point. The first question should always be, who might be interested? So visa applicants, how are we going to capture visa applicants online? Then, physically, in Abuja, you can go to visa application offices, because since in Nigeria everybody's trying to escape and nobody respects us, what they do is that they make all of us queue outside. I mean, it's the most degrading crap that you can go through. But anyway, you can pay for, what's it called? Is it expedited or something, where they let you into the building? But bottom line is, I don't know how it works in Lagos now, but if you go to Abuja, like in central area, if you're in Central District and you go past, what's this place called? It's before Access Bank, before Chelsea Hotel and Access Bank. There's one of those visa places. Every time you go there, every time in the morning, in the afternoon, people are just queuing outside under the sun or in the rain, because we're all trying to escape Nigeria. So whether it's a Schengen visa or UK visa or this visa or that visa, everybody's trying to cut out. If you go to those places, presumably those people might be interested in your Japa or your travel services. And it would not be strange for you to roll up on somebody who is there with his children and start these conversations, because at least now the person is in front of a travel visa something office. He's trying to pursue Schengen visa. The person might be open to a conversation. Now, remember what I said. For cold calling, you don't just show up and then try to sell. So don't go outside these visa offices and then start trying to sell your travel services, your Japa services. We should try and figure out if they're interested. Your messaging should be nice and simple and straight to the point. And remember, I keep saying it on the podcast that sales or selling is a conversation. So we should be engaging them in conversation. Is this your first time applying for a visa, sir? Or ma? Or mommy or daddy, if they're an elderly person? That is an okay way to start the conversation. Now, they know that you're there trying to sell them something, but this is not too intrusive to just walk up and say, this is your first time applying for a visa. The person will say yes, or the person will say no. Another question is, okay, sir, are you sure you have all your visa documents with you? The reason why I'm giving you this one is because somebody has actually rolled up to me and asked me this kind of questions before, and the person turned out to be a very helpful individual. I told the guy that, look, I don't need your services and everything, but I really appreciate all that you've done. And the guy's like, hey, no problem. Just collect my phone number. This is my flyer. You know anybody? Just connect them to me. And the way I take care of you is the same way I'll take care of them. And I said, okay, no problem. And I have the guy's contact details. So you see how it works. The guy didn't come off as a nuisance. He said, oh, hello, sir. This is your first time applying for a visa. Said, no, I've applied for a visa in the past, but that was a decade ago, so yeah, I'm out of touch. Do you have all your visa documents? I say, yes, I complied with everything. I printed out. Oh, see the email that they send you, the email that is labeled something, VN, so. I say, yes. He said, okay, there's some things that they didn't put in that email. I say, really? Yes. When you go inside, they will ask you to do this, they'll ask you to do this, ask you to do that. Oh, but I don't have this. That is not a problem, sir. You can just go to that cyber cafe over there, sign in on your phone, and then you will print whatever the document you need. You say, oh, really? I say, yes, it's not a problem, sir. The printout is just 20 naira per copy. That's the cyber cafe over here. So let's just go. I'll talk to the security guard so you don't miss your space on the queue. That kind of thing. You can see now, helpful conversation. I remember the episodes that we spoke about elicitation and qualification. From having all these conversations, you're now going to be able to be getting small things about where this person is applying to, whether they're traveling for business, whether they're trying to cut out of the country, whether they're traveling for pleasure, and it's from there that you'll be able to make a proposal about, oh, we have this package for business class. We have this package for family class. We have this package for one-way Jackpot never come back, because some of these Jackpot people, what they do is I think you need to have a certain kind balance in your bank account. I can't remember how much it was, but it was one of my classmates that was traveling, and the gist I heard was that he needed like 35, was it 85M or 35M? I can't remember, sure. But in my own opinion, I was thinking, if you can raise like between 35 and 85M, like, why are you running away now? Like, you can stay back here and do something. But that's just my own opinion. So there are some people who say, sure, no problem. You don't have that 35M, no problem. We have guarantors who will put that 35M in your account. But you must return it to us. And of course, when you jackpot and you get to the UK and you start working, you owe us a certain percentage of your salary, or, whatever you have to pay us back, that sort of thing. So it's from all these conversations. Is this your first time traveling, applying for a visa, sir? Are you sure you have all your visa requirements? Oh, by the way, I noticed it's a Schengen visa, business or pleasure or something. It's from all those conversations you'll be able to figure out all these things, and you know which of your services to now propose to the person. And you have to engage in all these conversations. Because there are some people who are trying to jackpot, but that 35M, they have the 35M, so they don't need your money. They have the money complete in their bank account. But they might need you for something else. Maybe they don't know how to, the most efficient way to fly, I guess. Because there's some people who don't like layover. Me and my family, we're not at that level yet where we can just do, fly like big boys. So we still do that whole layover thing. You go and land in London and you wait like 7 hours for the next flight, blah, blah, blah. So some people have the money and they don't like that 7-hour wait or that 2-hour wait. The one is, look, how can you just connect me to the sharpest whatever so I go there the most direct way as possible? I don't care about the money. And then, of course, the big boys like Dangote, them, they'll just charter the flights direct. Just take me to Australia straight. Don't do any layaway. Don't do anything. So, where was I? So, yes, cold calling works. But if you're going to roll up on strangers, do some researching, do some targeting around the opportunities, around the prospects. Don't just walk up to people random. If you walk up to people random, they will insult your life. They will snub you, low morale. So, who might be interested in my product or my service? Where might they be? Go there. Start trying to cold call there. So, for you people who are trying to sell travel, stop going to Ikeja City Mall. Stop going to Grand Square. Stop going to, whatever mall it is in whichever part of the city. Go to all those places where visa applicants already are confirmed. Try and have simple conversations with them. If you don't know how to start, the one that somebody used on me, this is a good way. Is this your first time applying for a visa, sir? It's not a bad way. Are you sure you have all your documents, all your visa documents? These are very good conversation starters, and you're trying to show yourself to be a helpful resource. Make sure you have all your contact information ready. Make sure you have your flyer, your everything, your business card, and you have your simple sales pitch once you've figured out what it is that the person needs. That way, you're going to be able to generate leads that you can pursue, that you can chase later. Or you might be able to build some useful contacts, some useful relationships later on, so that you might end up doing business with the person later on. Because like I said, the guy was a very helpful chap. And, it's not as if I'm going to refer him to everybody. But to be honest, if any of my friends call me to say, hey, what's up? I beg, I'm here. I'm in a bind. Like, do you know anybody? He seemed to be a helpful resource. I'll say, okay, look, I don't know this guy personally, but the last time I was there, this is how he helped me, and this and this and this. So I don't know, just call the guy, Sha. If he's around, just call him up and see. So you never know. Call calling, it can work for your business. It can help you grow your business. It's tough. So it's not for everyone. But don't be like all those people who say cold calling never works. It can work. Just make sure you do small research, apply some common sense, meet people where they might already be interested in your product or your service, meet them at the right context, start up with a general conversation. Don't start up trying to sell them something immediately. So that's it. That's how you can get cold calling to work for your business. So I spoke about Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, that's not a business. And I spoke about Jackpot and travel agencies. But, whatever it is you do, I'm sure there's a way that you can make it work. Remember, if you'd love to connect for a strategy session or for a business audit, or you have a bunch of questions, then reach out to me on WhatsApp. The phone number is 080-6466-2140. The country code is +234. Then I'm on LinkedIn as Tavishima Ayede. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next episode. And until then, may God continue to bless the work of your hands. I'll catch you guys.